Hello, welcome to another video, and today I wanted to showcase the no-gun build that I've been running. This is an update from the old one that I posted a little while ago that was using triple ice spikes. And this was just a full deadshot build. Max spell uptime, and you can just run around casting spells. It's pretty great. So since then, ice spikes are of course still fantastic. Nothing's changed about them. They do lots and lots of damage. Very, very high crit chance, 100% easy. Why'd I have to get this room? This room always takes forever. Anyway, but since then, we've had a buff spell, the legendary spell Laserhand. Base game spell, you just don't need DLCs or anything. And it's got a about 6-second cooldown, which makes the uptime fantastic. It's fire, so pucks are annoying. But they do a lot of damage. I normally hit 600, 700k damage consistently. And they make a very satisfying sound. And they'll just basically one-shot most ads you point them at. Badasses sometimes take two. And yeah, so this build is Great Ball and Capstone. And then spell shot down to sever. That's how swimming works. Down to sever the thread. 2 laser hands, 1 in each hand. I'm running a 2-charge one and then a 1-charge one with crit damage. Wait, no, both crit damage. Just a 1-charge one with better cooldown, I guess. And then running 2 spell damage rings, primarily focusing on spell crit damage. And then just general enchants, spellcast elemental, spellcast damage, spellcast ability for blast gasp, fire amulet, and then, of course, the skill tree. Strength, intelligence, bit of dex. Dex is more if I want to swap to ice spikes for fire resistant bosses like chums or phase 3 drill. But for everything else, we can just use the laser hands. And yeah, you just run around. Because we're Great Ball and we're very, very tanky. I was hoping for a critical connoisseur there. So while the crit chance of the laser hand is low, it's got this bit of text on it. We'll say, while fully charged, a 100% chance to crit. Now that's not doubling existing chance to crit, like most crit boosts. No, it's just a straight up post 100%. So you'll always crit with the thing. So you don't actually need to invest in crit chance for this, you just focus crit damage. The only crit chance I have is for those ice spikes, for fights like drill. Let's see this barrel, kill all of them. Which makes it very, very useful. It also means it's gonna proc double knot all the time. I'm currently not spec'd into that, I usually do it through armor pieces. My only good armor piece with double knot though is a paradigm, which is great and all, but I also don't have a gun. So double knot's not gonna activate anyway. So I've just gone with the standard good purple armor piece just to make this work. As you can see, it's a lot of fun. Even versus the statue with crit connoisseur, it takes 3 hits, otherwise it's taking us about 6. Can we actually get a health bar, please? There we go. There we go. I think that was 5. A quartz, I'd like to show off a quartz. Hello. Fire resistant clomp there, just brute force it. Hey, big lad. Some of the tankiest guys. No problem for us. Now, even though we can do so much damage against these ads, because it's just one shot and done, it's not the highest DPS in the world, which means when you approach bosses, they will be a little bit slower, but I haven't really found a boss that has giving us difficulty, especially since we're very tanky. So we don't really have to worry about survivability. The fight can take as long as it needs to. And some fights we can just swap to ice spikes, like say LeChance or phase 3 drill. Hopefully we get a good fight that is interesting for our boss.
I've seen where you're headed. I don't envy. My soul must rest before casting.
Pigwort? Okay, Pigwort's one of the most annoying. Oh well. We'll just bully him. I guess fired that one a little too soon. One cool thing about them is they can pierce, so if you just kind of line up, you can hit multiple enemies at once. Ooh, you lived. One more should get you. There we go. When Pigwort starts moving in that final phase, he's scary. But thankfully not scary enough. So I'm just going to skip ahead to the boss now, since we've seen enough mobbing. Critical Connoisseur. Oh yes, I like that a lot. And we're here at the boss. I actually had 2 PLC 3 rooms there, and Volcanar. Volcanar is probably one of the worst bosses for this, which is a bit of a shame, so I'm going to swap over to Ice Spikes. But this is a worst case scenario for this build. Thankfully we did actually get Critical Connoisseur, which is pretty good for our damage. Means that our blast gas do a bit less, but it's fine since the base damage going in. And yeah, as long as you just, you know, keep distance or whatever from bosses and don't get hit, you'll be fine. You're getting strong healing every time you cast anyway, thanks to Sanguine Sacrament. So survivability isn't much of a problem at all. So yeah. I will say if you try and do Spellcaster only, Glooper, the blue raid boss, not a fun time. The others weren't so bad. Markenstein was particularly funny because if you use lots of spell damage and you hold a Spellblade, you kill him in about 3 shots, which is really, really funny just because of how that fight works. Bunny was just kind of whatever. Glooper, wouldn't recommend doing spell only. Bring a gun to Glooper. Thankfully, as a spell shot, you've got plenty of gun damage because of magic bullets. So it's not too much of an issue. And one more cast. There we go. Cool. I look at my ice spikes. I got this one volatile. It's a normal ice spike with 2 projectiles, very strong roll. And I got this volatile triple ice spike with crit damage and spell damage on it too, which is pretty good. It's the same enchants as my laser hands. These are the 2 laser hands that I use. Just primordial laser hands. The cool thing about laser hand is the parts don't really matter. Obviously, if you get crit damage, cooldown, and spell charge, like that one, it's great. But it's not like you need charge point, like charges or cooldowns or whatever, just to make the thing usable. When its base is around 6 seconds, it's very generous. And the armor piece I use is this one, just this purple spell shot power, prioritizing that, spell damage, movement speed, all damage. And then in terms of amulets, it's just the alley that I want, so fire, spell power, and then as much all damage as I can get. So yeah, that's the build. Already been through it. It's a ton of fun. Laserhand is great if you want some just fun, satisfying spell. It's great, and if you are using it below Chaos 50, you'll just love how much it just tears through mobs. Even with a lower bit of investment, easy 100, 200k damage, and then with investment, up to 600, 700k damage. So it's very nice. Goodbye, Volcanar. So yeah, I'm going to call it there. I want to thank you so very much for watching. If you are a spellcaster, or you are a spell shot with decent spell damage, I highly recommend checking the laser hand out. It is strong enough to main full time. And as I say, if you want to mimic this build, use a gun. There is no reason not to. You get an extra enchant slot, you get double knot if you're spec'd, you can shoot. That's pretty great. There is no reason not to use a gun, I do it for the memes. Also, just running around with no gun just looks cool. So yeah. Have a good one. Goodbye. Jazz hands.